You're welcome back to Breakfast Central. We now begin our top stories this morning. The African Democratic Congress, ADC, alongside several lawmakers, are calling for the immediate suspension of the newly gazetted tax laws set to take effect on January 1st, 2026. And what's the reason? There are allegations of forgery following claims Honorable Abdul Samad Dasuki that said that the final versions of these laws, as signed by the president, contained provisions that were never passed by the National Assembly.
The ADC has described these insertions as criminal and unconstitutional, warning that they could dangerously tilt the balance of power towards the executive. Join us this morning to unpack this is an economic and the economic and constitutional implications of this controversy is Chief Economist at ARKK Economics Data Limited, Dr. Samson G. Simon. Dr. Simon, a warm welcome to you, and thank you for joining us on Breakfast Central this morning.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
Now, what's your take on the forgery allegations against the recently gazetted new tax laws scheduled to kick off in about a week and a few days' time?
10 days from now.
Would you say this is a case of deliberate subversion of legislative authority? Or could it be some, bureaucratic oversight or error somewhere? Was it deliberate?
Well, Honorable Dasuki mentioned this on the floor of the House of Representatives, and I think the House decided to set up a committee led by Honorable Mukhtar Batara to investigate. But if these allegations are true, then they are grievous allegations, right? They are grievous offenses in the sense that you don't gazette a different thing from what is being passed, and then in the process give powers to the executives that were not in the law that was debated and then passed and harmonized by the two houses. So the person that alleged this, I'm mentioning, talking about Honorable Abdul Samad now, right, made it explicitly clear that he looked at what was the law that was harmonized by the Senate and the reps, and then the gazetted copy, that there's a material difference between the two. And that's serious. And some people are right in saying that maybe we should even suspend the implementation of this. It was originally slated for 1st of January until this is cleared, which is very unlikely because I know the executive will not like that. They wanted this to be started on the 1st of January this year. It was postponed. It was delayed by a year. I don't think they want it to be delayed further. So the investigations have been done as we are speaking, and we hope that these are false. This is a false alarm, that there are no discrepancies between the gazetted and the past. However, from the allegations, the people that are making these allegations are very sure, they are positive, that there are material differences, and if there are truly material differences, then it's a very serious offense. It undermines the institution of the National Assembly. It shows that the Nigerian lawmakers are taken for granted, because you don't pass one thing, they're the only people vested with the powers to pass laws. And for the gazetting, it's just for you to make it available to the public. It's not for you to change anything that has already been passed by the lawmakers. So that's a very serious thing if it is proven to be correct eventually.
All right. A political party, the newly emerged political party, the ADC, are arguing that these laws are actually unconstitutional. So my question to you is, if the executive altered legislative content, does this amount to taxation without representation? Because ordinarily Nigerians would be expecting that the executive will indeed follow carefully and will be guided by the legislative, especially since they went through the entire content. It passed through various the stages of reading, and now it seems like it's no longer upheld. What's your take on that?
If all these allegations, like I said, because we don't have, I think the jury is out, it's been alleged that certain things, and for example, the gazetted copy has given the tax authorities or the executives the powers to make arrests when in the law it's been stated that they can only investigate tax violations. So that's clearly in breach of the Nigerian constitution and is in breach of the Nigerian law, because the law actually, the one that was passed, that was harmonized by the two houses, clearly stated you can only investigate tax violations. And then suddenly you're saying that you can actually make arrests. Right? So that's not Nigerian law, clearly. And that's a very grievous thing. That's a material difference, and it doesn't augur well for our nation. So we need to adhere strictly to the rules. We need to adhere strictly to the laws of the land. And only one body is responsible for that, which is the National Assembly. The executive doesn't have such powers. So even the bureaucracy that actually gazetted this, they don't have such powers to start changing what was originally passed. So it will make the entire thing to be null and void if it's proven to be correct. And you know what it means when you say something is a nullity? It means it doesn't have any effect, is unlawful, and is a very serious offense. If I were the president, or if I were Taiwo Oyedele, I'd be having sleepless nights because of this. And I'm surprised that they have not even addressed it, because it's a very serious thing. It's very serious.
Honestly, that was the next part I was going to, that I wonder why the last time we've seen a tweet from Taiwo Oyedele was 6 days ago. Because, again, I checked his account this morning, a few minutes ago, just to be sure that I haven't missed any official address.
And very unlike him, because before this law was passed, it was almost on every news station preaching the gospel of this tax law. And this happens in the silence.
So what message is the government sending if they're not officially addressing this issue? Because these are very grave concerns, very strong allegations. They're not to be taken with kid gloves. But if the government has not yet made any official address, what sort of message is that body language sending across to Nigerians?
Well, it's clearly sending the wrong message. For them, maybe for Taiwo and for the executive, they can claim that they're investigating, but I don't think it takes this long, because this thing has been out for almost a week now. I don't think it takes that long. The honorable member said it took him 3 days to realize the discrepancies, and I believe for them, they even have more at stake. So they should have done this within a day or two, and they should have addressed this. So one is compelled to believe that maybe these allegations are true, and that's why they are quiet. Because if it's false, I think by now they should have come out strongly to say that no, there is nothing like that. And because they have not said anything, I think it's sending the wrong message that these allegations are true.
Okay, so now that you're saying that it's sending the wrong message, and you said you're surprised that Taiwo Oyedele has not yet come out to speak about this. The House of Representatives has constituted a 7-member ad hoc committee to investigate the alleged discrepancies. The Speaker of the House mentioned this, and just to mention that the committee will be chaired by Mukhtar Betara, and it includes Idris Wase from Plateau, James Faleke, Chairman of the House Committee on Finance, Babajimi Benson from Lagos, Sada Soli from Katsina, Iduma Igariwe from Ebonyi, and Frederick Agbedi from Bayelsa. What should be a logical time frame that we should expect a feedback from this House committee that was set up on Wednesday?
In my honest opinion, I don't think they should take long. The laws are supposed to come into effect on the 1st of January, like one of you anchors mentioned, in 10 days' time or so. And for you to compare two documents it's not rocket science. So I don't think it's a big deal. Maybe they are trying to get to the root. Where exactly did that happen? Was it before the president assented, which I doubt? Is it after the president assented, when it was being gazetted? That was when some adjustments were being made, possibly. But even those things, I don't think it should take this long. I think in less than a week, they should be coming back with a comprehensive report of what exactly happened, if these allegations are true. If they are true, what exactly happened, and how can this quickly be remedied? If I were in the position of the executive, I think I'll try to see how I can quickly remedy this even before the 1st of January, so that it doesn't affect the implementation, because it has taken too long. They wanted it way earlier than now, and even now is that the possibility is being questioned. So some people, allegations are being made, grievous allegations are being made, and that may jeopardize the implementation. So if I were them, I'll not even waste time. Within a day or two, I'll try to find where this problem is and try to fix it almost immediately. And for the National Assembly, in the same manner, they should try to resolve it quickly so that it doesn't affect the implementation. Because if these laws are implemented, the benefits are supposed to redound to the Nigerian people. And anything that jeopardizes the implementation, I think jeopardizes the welfare of the people. And that's why you have government, to ensure that the welfare of the people is being implemented, is being pushed.
Now, Dr. Simon, from an economic standpoint, how does uncertainty over the legitimacy of tax legislation, this one, especially on the cusp of implementation, how does it impact investor confidence, both domestic and foreign?
There's this popular saying that investment is a coward. Investment does not want uncertainty. And this piece of information or this allegation has actually thrown uncertainty into the entire process. And it's not good, because it's going to diminish investor confidence, and we are struggling to attract particularly foreign direct investment. Not only are we struggling to attract foreign direct investment, we're humiliating investment. So this is the wrong piece of information that we need at this particular time, because it's not going to help matters. It's going to unfortunately exacerbate an already bad situation for us, because attracting investment has become a huge challenge for us. So if I were, like I mentioned earlier, in the position of the authorities, I will see how I can quickly resolve this so that it does not affect anything, particularly before the implementation. I know it's easier said than done, but it's not completely impossible, because this is very important to the president, this is very important to the nation, and I think all resources should be mobilized to find out where the problem is and quickly nip it in the bud before it becomes a serious issue by next year, when it's supposed to come into effect.
All right. I mean, as a seasoned economist yourself, I'm sure we're also aware of each state going through the federation allocations that come from the federal government, and not forgetting to the internally generated revenue as well for each state. Isn't it, I mean, wondering that the state governors have not even said anything concerning this? I mean, as an economist, what would you have said if you were opportune to speak to either of the governors? Because they seem to be quiet. I've been going through trying to find out if one governor, we do have governors who are accountants as well. I've been waiting to see if one of them will come out and fully speak about this. What does it mean when you have governors also keeping quiet concerning these allegations?
Well, like some people, I saw a particular piece of news that the particular lawmaker that mentioned this is from the opposition, and some people are trying to make it as if it's an opposition thing, which is very wrong. We need to understand the facts. Are these allegations true or not? And I think the governors might likely be circumspect. So maybe they're trying to find out and dig out and find what exactly the problem is. If these allegations are true, if they are true, where are the causes? How did it happen, and where exactly did it happen, and how it can quickly be resolved? If it's false, you can dismiss it out of hand. So I believe that people cannot just come out and start saying things when they don't have the facts about what really happened. And I believe that they're just being careful, even for the opposition governors. You know the way Nigerian political landscape is, even as opposition governor, somebody like Oti, for example, I remember when he was being asked by the media, he said he's not going to criticize the president, even though they are not from the same political party. So I think everybody is being careful. It is very important. It is very dear to the president. And you have to have all your facts, advisably, before you can make categorical statements. And I think that's what is likely happening amongst the governors.
All right. Now we do not have public access to these gazetted copies. So we cannot say for sure, although there have been reports by anonymous individuals who have given to newspapers and have shared what the discrepancies are. But whilst we await the official the report from the investigation, as well as the government's response to this, and particularly the taxman, Mr. Taiwo Yedele, what guardrails can we put in place to ensure that we don't have repeat incidents like this in the nearest future, where we hear that one document has been approved and later we hear that there's been some discrepancies in the details of the document?
Well, I think there is a committee that is supposed to do that at the National Assembly. That is supposed to look at, after the passage of a law, after the presidential assent, if things are done in conformity to what is actually being passed. I'm surprised that it took this long for a lone wolf because the honorable member on his own investigated. It's not like the committee investigated or any group of people within government actually investigated. I think they failed in their responsibility. And I think maybe henceforth, moving forward, they should be watchful and they should not take anything for granted so that things like this do not happen. Now, it's not every day that things like this happen. Maybe that was why they relaxed and they took everything for granted. But we cannot afford to have these things be repeated or this thing recorded in the future. I think everything must be done in conformity to the laws of the land, and the laws, Nigerian laws state that only the National Assembly will have the powers to make laws regarding to the entire federation. So if somebody is trying to alter what the National Assembly has done, I think that is a very serious offense, and punitive measures should be taken against such people so that it will serve as lessons to others, that next time maybe somebody will tip you to adjust or alter something, because I don't think this is a typo. It's beyond a typo. This is very material. So somebody intentionally adjusted these things, and I think the person needs to face the full wrath of the law, because you're toying with over 200 million Nigerians here, jeopardizing the entire country, jeopardizing the process. So there should be lessons learned, and some people should be taught that you don't do this.
Now, Dr. Simon, before we let you go, we do understand that Nigerians typically have a trust deficit with the government, and they're very sensitive when it comes to money matters. And we're talking taxation here. So if I'm going to have to pay taxes, that has to do with my hard-earned naira, and we're already seeing this sort of discrepancies in the law. Would you go with the suggestion of the ADC that this tax law should be suspended until we have a clear picture of what's happening, or will that be an extreme situation of throwing away the baby in the bathwater?
Well, they have a point in the sense that this issue has to be resolved before these laws should come into effect. Sadly, we don't have much time, so that will mean postponing the implementation till after the 1st of January. But if I were in government, I don't think I'll postpone it. What I'll do, I'll find a way of quickly resolving this. I don't think this is a big deal in my view. If all the resources of government can be deployed, I think it's something that can be solved within 48 hours in my view. And all the right things will be done before the date of implementation, because if you even postpone it again, I think it undermines the credibility of the government. So I'm not saying they should implement something that is questionable, but they should quickly resolve it so that the right thing is done, and then the implementation will not be challenged by anybody because of lingering questions around the entire law that has been gazetted and is made available.
All right. I'm sure we'll be waiting for the response that will come from the committee that has been set up. Hopefully, they will do it real quick before January 1, just 10 days before Nigerians will start paying taxes and ensuring that they obey the new laws that definitely would have been passed completely without any form of listening to what the man who had pointed out what the issues were right there in the assembly. Thank you so much for speaking with us.
Thank you.
It's been a great one talking with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.